Salguardo. With me, as always, is the voice of the Penguins, aka the Sledgehammer, Kyle Stroll, Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Hess, and former director of football operations, Dan Kopp. And we have an extremely special guest with us on this special episode, the Walter Payton Award winner, aka the Heisman Trophy winner of FCS football, and future Hall of Fame quarterback, yours truly, Bo Brungard, joins us. Uh, Tried to get him on during the season, but he had his mind in the game. Luckily, we have him now, and he is fresh off telling us he is returning to lead the Penguins for another season as he has shattered records left and right, and he's here to shatter his own records coming back next season. Uh, we have a lot to get into. Just a couple key notes. I don't want to talk long because the Sledgehammer says it's the Bo Show tonight. I do want to say the transfer portal does close tomorrow. Penguins have some good, promising talent in that. We'll review that on another day. And I do want to, I think Bo gave me his blessing to be able to say that the defending national champs, the YSU Lady Bowling team, is back in season starting this weekend. So good luck to those girls. Be able to hopefully run it back to back national champs for the Penguins. But Bo, let's get into it, man. Before we get into the details, we are going to want to ask you uh, about Bo, but about last season and mostly this season. But before we get into that, a lot of the listeners, including ourselves, uh, give us your bio 101, where you're from. Tell us about your family, your football career from, baby till, what brought you to YSU, just your personal life and in general that we don't know.
Yeah, so I grew up in New Middletown. It's probably 15 minutes outside of Youngstown. Grew up on a family farm. Probably been there. It's been there since 1832. Our farm's been there for a while, and our family's been running it. I got two older brothers, younger sister, um, and yeah. Played football. I think I really got into football. When I was younger, I played flag football, and we got in this like travel flag football circuit, and I was really able to, I guess, get ahead of other kids my age. Just throwing the football every single weekend, traveling and playing, amazing competition for kids my age. Um, and I was able to. My coach actually, Elliot Giles, Coach Giles, he played for YSU. He was my coach for those teams. So being able to learn from him from such a young age, I thought helped me. Played football at Springfield through middle school, high school. I also played basketball and ran track. But yeah, I think just with the history of YSU football and just what it means to this community, it's like there's no other town that cares more about football than I think Youngstown. Just growing up, hearing the history, and obviously my dad playing for YSU. You see pictures in the basement in the man cave, and you want to be that. You want to be that player growing up, and so I'd always sneak into his room and try to get his rings on my finger. And I looked up to him and what he accomplished. And I love YSU football. I love this town. And so coming out of high school, I only had one offer. It was Youngstown State, and it was actually under Coach Pelini. I got my offer, and then as the coaching staff switched to Coach Doug, they kept the offer up, and so it was really an easy decision, to be honest. And what I forgot to mention is when I was talking about my family, I'm also engaged. My fiance Sophia, and we're getting married soon. So that's also another big part of my life.
How many siblings do you have? And is Sophia from here as well? Is she a Penguin?
Yeah, I have two older brothers and a younger sister. And yeah, Sophia went to Poland, right down the road. Her family is actually from New Middletown. They grew up in New Middletown, so my family has known her family, for a long time. So, she's lived right down the road for me, and we've been dating for probably 5 years now. And last spring break, I decided to make it official. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. I know this is the Bo show, and I don't want to make it about myself, but the irony of you saying you were on a farm back in the 1800s. I never record from my office, but my office is where my great great grandparents in 1911 started a farm, and I am in the dairy business. So it is ironic. I still work here in the office of where my family started their farm 5 generations ago. So
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome to hear. We relate in that manner. But Curdy is going to kick it off with some rapid fire. Do it, Curdy.
All right, Bo, congratulations on getting engaged, man. I don't think you're going to win an argument for the rest of your life, so that's always something that's cool to sign up for. I'm just going to get
Thanks.
you with some quick hitters right now. They could be one word, they could be one sentence. We'll just kind of go through it to give you guys, give our listeners a little bit about the lighter side of Bo Brungard. So, started off. Do you prefer playing on field turf? I think everything's kind of field turf now, or do you rather play on grass?
Personally, I like turf, just because no matter rain or not, it's just consistent.
Sure, no question.
Yeah,
Early morning workout guy or late night session?
early morning. I'll get up at 4 o'clock and work out rather than late at night. I like getting up and just getting at it.
Boneless wings or bone in?
Oh, bone in. If it's not bone in, you're just eating a chicken nugget. So you gotta have bone in.
Wait. Follow-up questions. Drums or flats?
Yeah.
Drums or
Oh,
flats?
I've
Yeah, got
always
it.
been I've always been a drum guy. I am starting to lean towards flats now that I know the secret
Nice.
trick. Yeah, I know.
Would you rather win a championship ring? I think I know this answer. Championship ring or a gold medal in the Olympics?
Oh, championship ring. Yeah, championship ring.
No
Gonna
question.
get one of those. Yeah, definitely.
Best jersey you've ever owned?
I got it last Christmas. It is a Pittsburgh Steelers Mike Tomczak jersey.
Nice. Good
Yeah,
one.
because I'm a Steelers fan. Yep, I saw the mug. Love it. Yep, there you go.
I'd like to say that my team's the only team in the AFC North currently with a coach. That doesn't mean he's a quality coach, but we do have a coach.
Yeah, you can say
Pre-game
that.
superstition. Do you have any pre-game superstitions?
No, I don't. I really don't like to believe in superstitions. I think God has control over everything, and I think superstitions are. I don't believe in luck and all that. I think God has a plan for everything, and I trust in Him. So I'm not a big superstitious guy.
Absolutely. All right, last one.
Yeah.
Big win. What's the cheat meal after the game?
Oh my, I'm getting some kind of big bowl of pasta, whether I'm going to the MVR or I'm going to Papa Gigi's Italian Villa in Boardman, and I'm getting a big bowl of pasta, and I'm probably having 2 or 3 Dr. Peppers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect, man.
Well-
Perfect. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this interview, Kurt was actually number 12 quarterback, and Ron Strollo asked him if he wanted to retire his number, and he said no. He wanted to keep it open for other Hall of Fame quarterbacks who wear number 12, so you could thank him next time you run into him. But Dan,
I'm just
kick
happy
us
That's
now,
off.
awesome.
like I can maybe be associated with the Brungards, right? They'll be like 1A and 1B, number 12, and it's like, hey, don't forget about Kurt. He was okay too, right?
He was also, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, Bo, obviously, thanks for being here. Congrats on all the awards, Walter Payton, and the numerous awards you won. And, I had a question for you about it, and you did a great job talking about your family and the farm. And those of us from the area, of course, know your family name, your brothers who played ahead of you at Springfield, and your dad was coaching there with. Now, your head coach, was it Coach Guerrero, who's also a Penguin?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Coach Guerrero. Yeah, he was.
he's a Penguin. So, and obviously being the son of a coach, that's a special thing. But Yeah, I heard you talk just a minute ago, and I'd like to maybe talk a little bit about your faith and how that kind of has, how is it involved with the team, and how do you guys do that, maybe on a weekly basis or daily basis? So we see your headband. We love you doing that. I mean, it's great that you show your faith, and that's important. It's always been part of Something YSU's football team when we were all there, both Coach Aycock and Coach Wolford with FCA and all those things. But speak a little bit about your faith, if you don't mind, and maybe how the guys on the team and how that spreads.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost in my life, my identity as a person, a lot of people would think it's football, but I'm a follower of Jesus, number one in my life. That's how I identify. And I just want to represent and spread that as much as I can. You see it with the headband. And we actually, right before this, I just got done with a Bible study with some of my teammates that we have in the team room. So, I'm just trying to, spread the great news, spread the message, and, get it in the locker room. And that's something that's always been a part of my life. My dad's a pastor, and, my whole family, they raised me, in the church. And so, I'm so thankful for that. And it really is the biggest part of my life. And, I'm just trying to share it with my teammates. And it really is. It's so big in the locker room. There's so many other guys who, are believers as well. And it's awesome to, not be the only one in there. It's really great.
Well, that's cool to hear. I know your dad is a Church of the Rock, right? I've heard your dad
Church of the
preach
Rock.
there.
Yep.
I've heard him preach, and he's powerful. And so it's great to hear about your faith. I mean, especially in this day and age, from young men like yourself. And the other thing I got to say is you're a Steeler guy. So you're already a Hall of Fame guy. Now, in my mind, there's all kinds of Browns guys and Bengals on this show, but finally we got a fellow Steeler guy. We're going to draft you next, hopefully, but we got to find a coach. And so
that's right.
Thanks for sharing that and sharing your faith on putting it out there for others to see. I know you're an inspiration to a lot of guys. So congrats again on all you're doing. And I think it's Kyle. You're up next, there, Kyle.
Go ahead, Kyle. Hold on. Just so Bo knows, when you play home games, Kyle Searle's the one on ESPN Plus calling the game. So you're talking to the voice of the Penguins. Go ahead, Kyle.
I've done it like 2 or 3 times this season. Give it. DK, just so you know, and Bo, this is kind of a shot at you too. The Browns, who are perennially garbage, have won more playoff games in the last 7 years than the Steelers. So just put you guys in check a little bit. All right,
Bo, I'm going to save you this, response, because we got to protect your image right now. But that's usually what a Browns fan says, and we got 6 Super Bowl rings to show, right? So I mean, it's like you got a Tom Jack jersey. Dude, I mean, so
how many Super Bowls do you have since the cell phone was invented?
Oh boy, man, it's the Bo show. I'm
one against Arizona, another perennially trash
in Tampa.
In Tampa, Sal was there on the sideline. All right, Bo, I want to get into another relationship that you have, and I love that you are taking the time and sharing your faith in Jesus. I love it. I was at the North Dakota game. I just peeked in, saw you reading some scripture before the game. I thought that it's a great way to ground yourself before being in an environment like that. But one relationship that I think helped you on the field is your relationship with Coach Yursich. And I thought that you made an incredible jump from the first year that you were a starter to this year. And people don't understand how it's not just an easy plug and play with a offensive coordinator and a quarterback. There's time that you need to grow and get to know each other. Both of you guys have expectations of each other. So talk to us about how you both achieved like this synergy of just coming together and putting together one of the best seasons. Let me rephrase that. Putting together the best season a YSU quarterback has ever put together on the field, and which ended up with you winning the Walter Payton.
it really started when he first got here. It was probably a year ago around this time. He got hired and he came in, and we would just sit down and we got to know each other, and he would just sit and listen, and I just got to see how much knowledge he has of the game. He is such a knowledgeable coach, and not only knowledge, but the way he's able to coach and pour that knowledge out onto his players is something that he really has a gift of explaining and coaching. And so I just spend a lot of time in the meeting room just watching film with him, and just trying to soak up his knowledge and learn from him. And then when we get on the practice field, he is just a fiery coach. He pushes his players and his offense, to the fullest, to the max. He's not going to go easy on you. He demands the most, and he demanded the most out of me. He saw something in me, and he just demanded it every single day. There's no off days with him. There's no going easy, no soft days with him. He's a go hard 24/7 guy. So he just, as I got to know him, he just continually improved my knowledge of the game. I would say in the film room, things that he would show me on tape, and then just my footwork. There was a lot of laziness and sloppiness in my footwork, and that he was able to fix, and it certainly wasn't an overnight change, but through spring ball and through summer, we just kept at it, and yeah, it was able to show on the field.
Yeah, it absolutely shows, and that's great. Just I said at the end of the season, we kind of did a quick wrap up, and I know we'll talk about like the portal and stuff a little bit later, but I said the two most important pieces that we need for next year is Bo and Coach Yursich. I don't care who else. I believe that you two will be able to get the most out of who is around you all. So awesome. I love to see it. Can't wait till spring ball so we can kind of see what unfolds there.
Yeah.
Spinning off the Sledgehammer's question, and just to kind of set the stage for you, I don't know Coach Troy personally, but I know Kurt was a GA for him actually at Finley. Is that right, Kurt? So he knows him well. And then our offensive coordinator, when we were there with Shane Montgomery, knows Troy personally, and he swears by him. So he's a great coach. I'm not questioning that. But my question is, Coach Troy versus Coach Yursich, there's a noticeable difference. And just rewind the clock, 2024, it seemed like we had 15 play drives that resulted in field goals. Something wasn't working, and we didn't know, was it Bo? Was it Troy? What was it? Coach Phillips makes the decision, hey, we're investing in Bo. Bo's the guy. I need to find him a new coordinator. And just so the stats are out there for the fans, from 24 to 25, rushing and passing, you had just short of 30 touchdowns in 24, and then come 25, you had over 50. And then in yardage, you almost doubled your yardage in rushing and passing. You had almost 50,000 yards. 5,000 yards in rushing and passing. So just the increase was incredible. What was it about Troy's offense versus Yursich? Was Yursich offense just easier for you to understand? You feel more free and comfortable out there in this past 2025 season versus 24. Take us, I guess, behind the obvious of what I could see on TV. What really helped you from one coach to the next?
Yeah, I think there's no denying Coach Troy was a great coach. Coming out of high school, my knowledge on I guess coverages and just my football knowledge, ball knowledge you could call it, was very little. And the amount of football he taught me, I will forever be grateful for how much he taught me and how he's helped me grow as a player. And we saw, with Mitch and how much success he had with Coach Troy. He's a great coach. I just think it came down to, the style of offenses. I think some of the time it might have been play calls that might have been geared towards a pocket passer like Mitch or and Coach Yursich kind of understands my I guess my play style and kind of has an offense that's more geared towards that. There's no putting down Coach Troy as a coach. He was incredible, and I think if you look back at a lot of those games, I mean, a lot of the plays came down to my inexperience and our young offense. It was my first year starting, and it was a new offense for us. For a lot of guys, it was their first year starting too, and I think it came down to mistakes by the players. There was a bunch of games that we didn't capitalize, and it cost us. And so it wasn't all on the coaches, but if there was one thing, I would just say the offensive style, and the play calls in which they use scheme wise.
Well said. Yeah, I as a fan watching from afar, I agree. I love the offense we're running now. Curdy.
Hey, Bo, just kind of transitioning a little bit. We, whenever you talk to alumni, everybody always talks about the locker room and the bonds and times and moments that you had in the locker room. And I think a lot of our followers, whether they've played football or not, you spend a lot of time in the locker room, you spend a lot of time on the practice field, but, looking back, you spend probably most of your time, like you said, in the film room and in the meeting room. If we were to walk into a quarterback room, and I've got some stories that are just hilarious. And I think it's just like you could talk to Kyle about his D-line room and how crazy they were. And they were constantly roasting each other. And you walk into the quarterback room and everybody's sarcastic and kind of stuck up, pretty boy type thing. Like everybody's kind of got their stereotype in the meeting room. What's the quarterback meeting room like right now? Are you guys a competitive bunch? Are you a friendly bunch? Are you, humorous? What's that like in the quarterback meeting room, where you probably spend most of your time?
Yeah, I think Coach Yursich does a tremendous job of balancing, football, and then understanding that, sometimes it can be extremely stressful, and sometimes you need to crack a joke or two. He's one of the, outside of football, he's one of the funnier guys I've ever met. But if you're in the film room after a practice, you're gonna hear some yelling. He makes sure you're wrong if you are wrong, and you got to take ownership of it. But a lot of times you're just breaking down plays and seeing coverage and just sitting there listening to his insight, what he sees. Like I talked about earlier, just absorbing his knowledge. That's the big thing for me. I mean, a lot of times it's not even meetings with all the quarterbacks. It's just me and him in there late nights, during the season, just breaking down film and just talking back and forth about what we see, ideas of plays we could execute against defenses. So it's definitely very serious and strict in there at times, but there's also times when we're able to, lay back and crack some jokes and have fun. There's definitely a good balance he does there.
For sure. So I spent 4 years with
Yeah.
Coach Montgomery, and Coach Montgomery is a huge Cincinnati Reds fan. And if anything was non-football related, it was because we were either making fun of him for watching the Reds one way or another. And you mentioned those late nights. And sometimes, the repetition of you go back and watch a play, you go back and watch a play, and you see the steps probably 13 times. And there was this one time he's going back, and all of a sudden it's a late night. He's listening to the Reds game. He kind of falls asleep. And we all look back at him like, do we just leave the meeting room? Like, we're done. The practice is over, and he's just watching the Reds. Is there anything in the meeting room he does that's just non-football specific at all? Are there any interests that get brought up over and over again? Or, I mean, you guys seem like a focused group, but what non-football stuff happens in the meeting rooms?
Yeah, if we were to get off topic from football, I think the first thing we would talk about would be conspiracy theories. We like to talk about, what we think about the moon landing, Bigfoot, just questions that really make you think. We love to get everyone's perspective on that. So that's usually the topics we hit.
That's awesome, man. That's cool, because that's the stuff that I feel like you build relationships. And, you could text Coach 10, 15 years down the road, and you still have those memories. So that's pretty cool, man.
I'm gonna come join some of
Definitely.
those conspiracy conversations, just so you know.
You don't want him.
Yeah, I was gonna say this guy's not convinced the world is round. All right. Now,
Hey,
we won't get into it, but I don't think there's no way we step foot on the moon, right? We all agree on that.
oh, there's no
For sure.
chance we're on the moon.
We're going
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
50
We
years.
didn't we didn't
hasn't been
go to
back.
the moon. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
you're
way.
right. There's
No.
no doubt. We're unanimous on that.
Yeah, we'll get into JFK assassinations later. But anyway, Bo, getting into the 2026 season, kind of like, what was 25. I mean, as I mentioned, you are the FCS Heisman Trophy winner, per se, to kind of translate it for the fans out there. Going into 2026, biggest news of all, with the transfer portal, where's Bo going? Where's Bo going? I mean, we lose some pieces of transfer portal. Uh, I'm not talking transfer portal tonight, but it looks like we do have a receiver from Cincinnati, a receiver from Bethune-Cookman. Looks like we're getting some weapons for you coming in. But you decide to come back 2026. What were the elements in you making that decision? I mean, give us the behind the scenes, behind the curtains, is what made you say, you know what, let's do 2026 and let's go all the way to Nashville this time.
Yeah, it was certainly a decision that made a lot of people question me, and even some of my friends are like, what are you doing?" And I was talking with one of my teammates who's also getting a bunch of looks from other schools, and they want him to transfer, and we were just talking, and people just don't understand the what you're working towards, and the bond and the brotherhood you create. And until you're in that locker room, and until you sweat after all those practices, you really can't understand it. But it really came down to towards the end of the season, it's crazy, these schools start contacting your high school head coach. They even try to get a hold of my dad. And towards the end of the season, I'm trying to focus on a game plan, and these people are trying to get a hold of me to like get me to transfer. And so I had to start, and I just started praying right away. That was my answer. Start praying. Lord, help me. Like, what, show me the way to go. And at the end of the year, I sat down with Coach Phillips, and I asked the Lord to help me make a decision. And he just opened the door for me. He made it very clear. And he told me in my heart that I should stay. And being from Youngstown, being a Youngstown guy, um, I don't think people who are from out of this area, I don't think they can understand, growing up in this area, playing for YSU. I don't think people could understand, the emotions and the feelings and the loyalty that come with that. And I just don't have a desire to play anywhere else besides YSU. I wanted to go out as a Penguin. And something I thought about a lot was, in this world of college football where the norm is to chase money and to go up and chase all these things, I wanted to be the difference. I wanted to be the 1% who isn't like everybody else, and can hopefully start some change in college football, to say that you can be a phenomenal FCS player and stay loyal to your FCS school and not go chasing millions of dollars. Because I think there's so much more to life than just some money, and the relationships I've built here. I wasn't willing to throw that away for 1 year somewhere else. So, in short, it came down to a lot of prayer and the relationships I'd built.
I love that. I love being from Tampa, Florida. I will tell you, Youngstown State and Youngstown, Ohio is a very special place. And when you said you were coming back and that was official, just fans everywhere went nuts. Even though you may not have been able to see it in a stadium, it was huge news to Penguin Nation. Sledgehammer, what do you got?
Yeah, I just have to say, like, we get what is it, the YSU Sports, or if you follow some of the athletes on the team, they always post their letter of thanking the university, and they're off in the portal and stuff. And man, I was just holding my breath for Bose. I was like, I think he's gonna stay. I mean, I think, but not really certain. And because we don't know, and you touched on it a little bit just talking right there, we don't really know what the tampering looks like in this NIL era of football. So, they're trying to contact you before. It sounds like they're trying to get a hold of you before the season's over. And have you are they allowed to talk to you directly, or are they trying to like navigate around that, like talk to your dad, your high school coach, get messages to you? Just kind of expand on what the tampering looks like, and if guys have places that they plan to commit to before actually entering the portal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, they'll hit you up at the end of the year, and they'll go through your high school coaches or anybody who really knows you, because until you get in the portal, they're not allowed to contact you directly. So they'll try to get in contact with anybody who knows you to spread the word that they're interested. And so, like I said, it was towards the end of the year. Some schools were getting in contact with my high school coach, and um, trying to share a number with me, um, and it was all just very shady. It was all very just didn't feel right. It just wasn't right, and it's very real. It happens a lot. Happened. I'm not the only one this happens to, but yeah, they'll try any which way to get a hold of you and get you to leave, and it's a lot of times I feel like they could just be empty promises. Nothing's in paper, nothing's a contract. It's just their word. And when you're a 19, 20-year-old kid, and somebody comes to you and says, we're going to give you this much money, I mean, those numbers just make their eyes pop out of their head. And so it's hard for these kids to hear this and to not want to leave. It's life changing to some of these kids. And so the tampering is very real, and it's something that I hope gets addressed and fixed. It could certainly help teams at our level.
I saw a stat that there's say 4,000 NCAA football players, and 1,500 of them are in the portal. That over a quarter of the kids are in the portal, and I think out of that 30% that are in the portal, 50% of them don't find a new school. So it's just like you said, there's a lot of education that needs to be done with these student athletes, and I think that something needs to be done. So maybe when you graduate, you get a job with the NCAA and fix all this nonsense, Bo.
That's
What
right.
is your
We can
major?
start cracking down on
What
it.
are you majoring in?
Business administration.
Perfect.
There you go.
The NCAA is a business.
That's right.
Curdy.
All right, Bo. Talk about your off season. I already kind of know you're focused. It sounds like you're already out there throwing. Outside of coming on to the Whitetown Penguin Football Podcast, I mean, what are your ways that you relax and kick back and get away from football a little bit? I know football is so mentally draining, especially at the quarterback position throughout the off season. I know you're a focused young man and you've got some dreams and goals, so I know you're already back at it. But how do you take your mind away from it, and how do you let yourself de-stress in the off season?
Yeah. Well, if I'm not at the facility, I love to go bowling. That's like my number one thing. I love going to the lanes with my
True
friends.
Penguin.
Yeah. Watching movies. I really am not a going out kind of guy. I would much rather prefer staying home, watching a movie, getting takeout. So me and my fiance, we do that a lot. Just hang out, watch movies, and I learned this past season that you really do need to have a little bit of a balance of football, and then understanding that you got to make some time for things outside of football, or else you're really just going to go crazy. So I would find ways during the season to take an hour here or 30 minutes there to get my mind off things and read, and maybe watch a movie or a show. But definitely bowling be my number one thing. If you're gonna look for me on a Friday night, probably at the bowling alley.
That's awesome, man. Next time we're in town for a game or a spring game or something, can you come bowling? Can we all go bowling together? Get a couple lanes?
Oh, I'd love to.
That'd be fun.
Cyril, aren't you on
Sal's
the team,
gonna
Cyril?
Yeah, I'm in a bowling league on Tuesdays.
It's my boy.
I just
That's what's up.
got some shoes, so I don't have to put my feet in those dirty little red and blue clown shoes that they give you.
Yeah.
Bo, next time that Sal comes into town, he's going to try and drag you to the Cavelli Center to get you curling on the Phantom's ice. Sal's a big curling guy. It's kind of like bowling, but it's
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so. I'm in a curling league. But we did go. Cyril, didn't we go bowling in Virginia last fall with my son?
Yeah.
You better find Cyril a teammate if you're going to go against Bo. I'll just say that. DK, anything?
Yeah, real quick. I mean, I think it's evident. I had the fortune to spend a little time with Bo and some of his teammates a couple weeks ago, and I think it's evident, and some other guys that were there. You get to see what our Walter Payton Award winner, what kind of young man Bo is. He comes from a great family, and his humility and just think, I wrote down a couple of things he mentioned tonight: to be that 1%er, to be different, right? To be invested, to have balance. And I mean, this is an incredible young man we have on our show tonight, who's, a credit to his family, but to what Coach Phillips and they're doing there, and to stay committed to this place. And before, I want him to share a little story about one of his teammates, and I hope I'm sure he'll remember from a couple weeks ago that his teammate Mike Wells shared a story. But I think things come full circle in life, and his dad, Mark, who is a Hall of Famer, like our Hall of Famer, Kurt Hess, also number 12, but he was down in Nashville accepting the Walter Payton Award, and there was a big contingency of Youngstown people down there, as Bo knows, and he gave them credit. And he's just a tremendous representative of YSU, and I've had people in the business world here locally just, they love this guy. And I think his teammates do, and we've been just love watching him play. And I want him to share a little story about, if Bo, you remember Mike's story a couple weeks ago there, right, about one of his favorite plays from last year. Give me a thumbs up. You remember that story, or do you want me to tell it?
You might have to tell it.
Okay. He's
can't
too
remember
humble.
His favorite play.
Well, he had two, but Bo's just being humble. I know he remembers, but after I tell this quick thing, I want you to talk about how this translates to the brotherhood, or what's going on in that locker room that helped make you come back. But one of our other All-Americans, Mike Wells, we all know Mike. Someone asked him two of his, like, a favorite story from the past football season. I'm thinking he's going to, rightfully so, talk about a sack he had, or a big play he made. And he talked about something, but he said, my real favorite play was the play that we threw back for a touchdown to Bo. I believe that was was that Indiana State? Who threw the throwback touchdown to Murray State. I'm sorry.
Murray State.
State. And he throws it out there to number 13, and he throws it back to Bo for a touchdown. And I'm around some people. I'm thinking, here's another All-American guy who said he had a lot of plays, right? Mike Wells, right, guys? Kyle, you called some of those games. He had a lot of big plays. And he's talking about, and even Coach Phillips and Kurt will attest this, the quarterbacks get all the attention. They get all the love, right? And he's talking about his teammate catching a pass, his quarterback catching a pass. So I was so, fired up about that. Wow, talk about culture. So, Bo, tell us a little bit about, talk to us more about that. Tell the listeners, here's why it's that way, and this is why I came back.
Yeah, just unselfishness from Mike, and something that Coach Phillips preaches all the time. is that we have to play complementary football. It's not just an offense. It's not just a defense. And he emphasizes even special teams, how important that is. And so we all understand that we need each other. And when that defense is on the field, you better be off the bench rooting for them. And like Mike said, he was off the bench watching, cheering, and it was his favorite play. But just understanding that we need each other, and we're gonna push each other. One of our standards is iron sharpens iron, and we make each other better every day in practice. And I guess that coaches really implemented that and gave us a good understanding of that, because it's obviously starting to show, with what Mike said.
Awesome. Well, like I said, for full circle, you accepted that award on behalf of your family and the team and everyone in Nashville. And I firmly believe, as I'm sure all the other guys on the show, we're going to be back in Nashville again, getting after that title. So maybe one of your boys someday will be trying on your ring, not just you trying on Dad's, right? So we're gonna get back there. So great answer, and I wanted to share that story if you guys didn't mind, because I think it speaks volumes about our other number 12 on this show, and the impact you guys are all having. So thanks, Bo.
Anyone, before we get to Instagram and YouTube questions, anything for Bo or any further questions for my co-host? Okay. I don't want to get too far into it, Bo, but one thing, if while y'all are pumping iron this off season, if anyone wants to take a day off, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but looking at your 2026 schedule, it is pretty darn brutal. We got UNI, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, North Dakota, all 4 in a row. So get those boys ready in the weight room, get them going, because it's a tough schedule. That's including a trip out to Sacramento State.
That's nothing new. Like, they always do that to YSU. I feel like we always got 3 out of those 4 teams sandwiched somewhere in our season.
Right.
It's been like that for 15 years.
I'm looking at Kentucky and I'm like, oh, we'll probably win that game. And then I look at the tail end, I'm like, oh, this is brutal. So, Kentucky, we'll talk offline, but that's a game we should all travel to. But all right, let's get into YouTube and Instagram. Any questions, Cyril or Kurt, from the fans for Bo?
Go ahead. Upstairs.
Bo, I don't know. Go ahead, Cyril.
I'm pretty sure this is Cinco. I don't know.
Hold on. We need to vet this before we put it on live air. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's a conditioning question. Do you guys have a conditioning test, Bo? Is it still 5, 10, 15s, or what's your conditioning test?
This past year, we had a pretty intense. Every Friday morning, I believe, we'd go out as a team, and I forget what we call them, but pretty much you get on the goal line and the coaches call out like 25, 15, 20, and then they'll yell out right, left, right. And you got to, once they blow the whistle, you got to do 25, 15, 20, and you better use the right hand, and they're watching, or else the rep don't count. And you got to get a certain amount of reps, and it's like 90 degrees outside, and guys are throwing up. But the focus of it is you need to be mentally locked in when it gets hard, because it's easy to just run and not think, but you got to be able to focus when you're tired. And so I personally love them. I don't know if some of the guys, some of the bigger boys love them, but I really did like them.
Did you do 96 of them in a row? What's the
I don't know about that many.
What's the max number you've done? Well, you guys got to get up to 96 before you can talk to the 2010 roster. I think it was 2010. Maybe it was 2012.
We did 40 some, 50 some, I think.
Because guys not paying attention. Because we certainly weren't paying attention the day we did 96.
It takes one guy to mess up, and then the whole group suffers. So, yeah.
Sounds like Bo's team went to the playoffs, and Cyril, our team, did not.
I mean, well, because we, whatever. ancient history at this point. That was like 13 years ago.
What I think Moss Man has a question.
Does he?
Yeah, I
Does
thought
he?
did.
Are
No,
you
well,
are you a
he
frequenter
already
at
answered
Golden
it.
Dawn?
He's like, he said, "What's your Bo? What's your favorite restaurant in Youngstown, and what dish are you getting?" So he said Papa Gigi's with some pasta and a Dr. Pepper. But
Okay.
To answer your question, Kurt, yes, I am
Yeah.
a frequent at the Golden
What-
Dawn. In
What's the order
season,
at Golden Dawn?
in season, we'd go once a week in season, and I'm a fried bologna sandwich kind of guy
oh hell
with
yeah,
the hot peppers on it. And I tell them I throw a fried egg on there too. It's my favorite.
dude, that is so young. That is the most Youngstown thing I've ever heard, except for
That's
if you would have
actually
known
It's
that
good.
order, you never thought he would have left. Like they
No, no.
transfer. He's like, dude, this guy's getting fried bologna and peppers.
Now, Bo, you got to do some Permane Brothers sandwiches too, right? I mean, it's kind of the Golden Dawn version of a Permane Brothers, right? So, I mean, I'm sure you're a Pittsburgh.
I go
Permane
there
guy.
too.
There you go.
Oh
There you
yeah.
go. Oh,
Yeah,
my
but the
one
Golden
thing though,
Dawn
I
is
don't
like-
I don't like coleslaw. I don't like
Ooh.
coleslaw, and they put coleslaw on everything.
yeah.
So-
Okay.
and
Well,
and you
That's
walk into
tough.
the Golden Dawn with $5 in your pocket, and you leave stuffed.
with 50 cents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Exactly right.
Kurt, so is that we get them?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
Fred
right,
sent about 40 questions, so I'm just trying to sift through all of these.
You can find the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bo,
no,
do
I
you
think
know?
we found all the
do you
good
know
ones.
Fred?
We're good.
Fred's not very PC.
Oh, I don't think he knows Fred. I don't.
That
Well-
could be podcast after
I
dark.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bo, before we kind of shut this thing down, I want to kind of open the floor. Anything you want to say that we didn't ask that you kind of want to get out there, or just a message for Penguin Nation before we kind of start to shut this interview down?
I mean, the emphasis on when we go out in that field and then we see a packed stadium, it really makes a difference. It really does. So just get out there, go to the games. It really makes a difference, and it adds pressure to their team. I can tell you when we go to the Fargo Dome and there's not a seat left in that place, it really makes a difference. So, my dad has a picture in his basement of what the games looked like in the 90s, and even the corners of the stadium was filled. And that's my dream to run out and have the stadium that packed. So I'm hoping we can get it like that.
We will. The sledgehammer, he reminds everyone every episode, make sure they get out there. So absolutely.
I do. That's my
Well,
biggest pet peeve. That is my biggest pet peeve.
And then
No-
he yells
no
at him
doubt.
the next week. They didn't get out there.
Well, we
Well, I
got.
mean, honestly, I just think that there's so much. There's so much excitement around what we have going on, especially in this new era of college football, where YSU seem to be like figuring it out pretty well across all sports, but
Oh, yeah.
football especially. And it just bothers me that we're trying to guess how many people are coming to the stadium based on what time Ohio State plays, when we have so many communities around Youngstown that can filter in and support a local team, and it's not expensive to go. It's family friendly. It's just so that's just why it grinds my gears.
Well, I think number 12 and those guys are going to give these people some more reasons to get there. And we had your dad's coach on here, as Sal deemed affectionately. We call him the Godfather. Coach Tressel, President Tressel, Lieutenant Governor Tressel. He's been on the show, and so we asked him about those days, and he said that was long before there was ESPN Game Day and 50 games on during the day. But I think we got we got a Walter Payton guy that's going to help fill it up. So looking forward to
doubt.
that.
Hey, well, we
Can't
could.
wait.
We could. What day do we play NDSU? Do we play them late
NDSU
mid-season?
is Halloween.
It might
Halloween?
be Halloween
Yeah.
weekend.
Halloween.
All I'm
weekend.
saying is
It is Halloween, the day.
If we get a top 5 matchup at that point of the year, I mean, maybe game day come to Youngstown. You know, it's supposed to happen. You know,
There we go.
13, but
There we go.
You will still call the game, though.
dude, I don't know if they invite me. Yeah, I'm in.
In a costume. You have to call the game.
Yeah.
Yo, let's go. All right. Bo, one thing before we sign off. Hey, I want to thank you for everything you've done for Youngstown State football. We are a part of the brotherhood of Youngstown State football. You ever need anything, reach out to any of us. We'll always be here for you, brother. Appreciate your time on coming on. I don't know if my co-hosts have anything to say before we lock it up.
No, we got to break the news. Bo said if he could play any other sport at YSU, Bo, give him the answer. You want to start a what?
Yeah, we need to start a men's bowling team.
The guy bowls 300.
Maybe.
The guy, what's your average again?
Not quite. 286 is the high.
Come on, man.
286. That's the
Come
high.
on, this guy's
I think
That's
we
like
could
what I
all
shoot
apply
for
for
my
an extra
3.
year
That's
of
my
eligibility.
3-game target. Is my 286.
Anything else before we lock it up?
Nope. Keep it up, Bo.
Right.
God bless you, man.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Appreciate you coming on, Bo.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is Bo Brungard, your 2025 Walter Payton Award winner, our quarterback who is leading us into the 2026 season. Thanks again, Bo. But this was Youngstown State, the Youngstown Penguin Football Podcast. We're on Instagram, Whitetown Penguin Podcast. Please give us a 5-star review, a subscribe, and a comment, and anywhere podcasts are, we are available. We are on YouTube Live. Please follow, subscribe to know when we are back, as we are going to be kind of in and out as the off season before we pick things back up in late July. But again, I'm Saguaro. That's Kyle Stroh. That's Kurt Hess. That's that cop. And as always, go Penguins.